as far as clarification, there's a whole string of them that go back, clear back to at least 2013 and probably before. Shortly after I was elected to office, there was an individual that just wrote a book for the purpose of attacking me. And that book was the foundation for him to look up for more and more things that he could attack me on. I will say this, that there's a scholar who is he's a PhD literary scholar, studied at Yale. He now lives in the Midwest. And he got curious and he went down through all of these quotes that they've used to attack me, put them in context, found the original source, looked at them and said, any conservative would have been proud to say what I said within the context that I delivered it, but the national media has taken that and taken a little clip out of it, sometimes flipped it 180 degrees and used it to attack. And I know their tactics. That's part of what's in the book, their tactics. And I happen to talk to another member of Congress who isn't what you'd call a known vocal conservative, but has someplace more than 10 years ago, he was busy writing a blog making fun of people on both sides of the aisle. Well, they've taken some of those words that he had written then, taken them out of context, and they're beginning to attack him now, and I see the pattern. And America's got to come to grips with the cancel culture and this judgment, this imputing a value on someone based upon a phrase that you say, they say, whether they actually have said it or not. When you impute a value and impute a thought process on someone and then attack them for it, that's a poisonous element in our society and our culture. We can't survive this if it's going to continue to accelerate. And now if you look out across the broader dialogue that's taking place within our national media and on the blogs and within the social media, now people have come to the realization that cancel culture is a great big mistake. We shouldn't be judging people by what we say they say, and we shouldn't be judging them by what we say they think. Let their words speak for themselves, and it's the message, not the messenger. When you have someone who has been, let's just say, canceled, criticized, pushed out of the public arena, then forever, whatever they may have contributed in the past or whatever they might try to contribute in the future, that philosophy says, no, they have to be kept in a cocoon somewhere, and they can't do any good to us because they've been labeled usually by the left as having a thought that can't be accepted in our society. You can't solve problems that way. You have to be able to have open dialogue. Our founding fathers understood that. That's why we have freedom of speech, religion, and the press and assembly right in the First Amendment. And that's what keeps us from being at each other's throats in the streets, is open dialogue. Well, when you start shutting down open dialogue, it's things like what's happening in Seattle and Portland, Minneapolis, happen. And I'd rather have open dialogue, resolve our differences through reason. And they're even attacking reason as a white value rather than a Western civilization value. We've got to be able to reason. The age of reason came down through us from the Greeks, the Romans, Western Europe, and over to the United States. We're pretty proud of being able to think rationally. And when it gets irrational, when somebody says, my feelings trump truth, trump your truth, and what you say is rational thought, you know they're not a constructive element in this society. We've got to know that the truth and the facts and reason have to prevail in the end, or we're squandering this technology, this wonderful gift that we have in our time now in this generation.
And in our nation's capital, the president, some of what you're alluding to is obviously on both sides, both his supporters and his critics have a lot of what you say is going on as well on social media. What do you think Trump's chances are if you want to project to the future? In just a couple of months, we have a major election coming up. Obviously, you've also alluded to the political climate, things going on in major cities, not so much in communities here like Siouxland, but the national climate is hot right now, to say the least. Racial tensions at the forefront of it, coronavirus, the pandemic, amplifying a lot of that. What do you think the president's chances are, or what do you foresee for this upcoming major election?
Well, we remember what kind of inertia he had in 2016. And of course, a lot of that started here in Iowa. But President Trump, then candidate Trump, created that inertia and that momentum. He spoke to people's heart, spoke to their soul, spoke to their patriotism, and a higher being of people that just want to have a strong family, a good job, and contribute to society. But he has been under attack from the first day that he was elected. And the Russia 2 years investigation that was going on, and then we had the investigation on Ukraine that started shortly after that, and then the impeachment, which was phony from the beginning and set up on a calendar to get it done in the House by Christmas time. I mean, if I watched this, I lived the middle of it, I know the people, and was engaged, with them. So then after that, the coronavirus hits. That's an act of nature, I presume, but the movement to shut the businesses down was going to shut the economy down. And then behind that, we've got the pressure of this economy. So he's had every day of his presidency, he's been under tremendous criticism, and still the American people hold up pretty well. I'm concerned, though, that momentum won't be there when it comes time for November. And if that's the case, it's going to be hard for this president to win the election. It's going to be hard for him to win Iowa. So he's got to turn the corner, and he's got to get that momentum. People have to feel good about what we've accomplished. We've accomplished considerable. The tax cuts, we had the best economy we'd had in years and years. We're reducing regulation. The president has done what he said he was going to do within the limits that were there because of the political opposition that rejected the results of the election.
Speaking of, politics, bringing it back here to Iowa, obviously you've had a long career here. Are there any regrets, things that you feel like were left on the table, or things that you wanted to accomplish that simply, for whatever reason, could not get done?
Well, there are a good number of things I would have liked to have accomplished, and they will be in that bill that packages up everything. But, you can't really measure it that way. Instead, a better way to measure is, am I satisfied and am I at peace with what I did, with what I had to work with?
Are you?
And the answer to that's yes. Is there a glass of water?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We can grab you some, for sure.
I should have brought a bottle in.
No, you're okay. We can get it.
We're on tape, right? So
you're fine, yeah. Yeah. We'll be right back. We do have I was going to say I have a tissue if you want.
I'm good.
You good? Okay. You came prepared.
About every week. It happens once a week. I don't know why.
Seasonal allergies are really bad right now. I don't know if you're a victim of those, but
usually not.
Yeah, we have some people around here. I didn't think I had allergies until I moved here, and now I'm starting to feel. I think it was the humidity living in Florida most of my life that I'd never really felt anything, and then the air was so dry and so pure living in Upper Michigan, coming off Superior there. I felt almost like, I don't know.
How'd you find the winters up there?
Hard. I would be lying.
From Florida up there?
I would be lying if I said it was easy. No, I mean, I definitely embraced it. You have to, or you'll go crazy. The winters are so long. So.
You embraced it?
Thank you. I did. Yeah, got into some winter sports. Stuff.
Cross-country skiing?
Yeah, cross country. Well, because of course, being in news, that there's always something in your contract that says you can't break yourself, essentially. So downhill wasn't really an option. Although I did that when I was very little. But yeah, I got into the culture up there and got really into foraging and berry picking and things like that. So. Yeah.
Berry picking. Well, that'll probably show up, won't it?
No, actually, you're about here.
Really? Okay.
Told you, I got you covered.
I drooled. Got me covered, huh?
You'll never know. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Perfect.
I was trying to.
Yeah, sorry.